What's going on, YouTube? Increasingly, the line between mainstream and luxury has been blurring, and one of the biggest brands doing that is Mazda. It has moved upscale in a big way with its all-new, rear-wheel drive based, inline-six powered CX-90 crossover. And even though it is the most expensive Mazda ever, it still doesn't cost as much as the luxury alternatives, such as the best-selling Acura MDX. So is it worth spending the extra bucks on a luxury nameplate, or does the Mazda offer everything you want and need? Let's go ahead and find out. Like I said, this is the most expensive Mazda ever, so let's talk pricing right from the start here. This is the fully loaded Turbo S Premium Plus, which carries a price tag of $61,920 after destination and the optional Artisan Red paint. Moving to the MDX, we have the fully loaded model, outside of the Performance Type S variant. You might be surprised just how close in price it is, $65,753 for the Advance with all-wheel drive and optional white paint. Now this is going to be an objective comparison. We have done our best to weigh the points awarded throughout in major and minor categories, but at the end of the comparison we will sum it up with our thoughts and revisit the price difference for a value assessment. With that being said, let's get into this comparison. A key part of having a luxury experience is looking the part, and both of these models certainly excel in that. Mazda's latest design language makes its debut with the CX-90, and it features a large black grille with plenty of chrome to accentuate. The MDX also has a large grille, although about half of it is taken up by the massive badge. The Mazda's full LED headlights nicely integrate with the fascia, and they are adaptive, unlike the dual-eye LED lights on the MDX. However, only the Acura includes fog lamps. Checking out the sides, they are both pretty large, but the CX-90 is one of the longest three-row options, coming in at over 200 inches. As we've commented on in the past, the MDX pushes back the A-pillar to give it a rear-wheel drive-like proportion, and it does a good job of mimicking what the CX-90 naturally has. Adding to the designs are nice-looking alloy wheels, 20 inches on the MDX and 21s on the CX-90. And then around back, both have exposed wipers and fully LED taillights, although the MDX also has exposed exhaust tips. But let's move beyond the design and get into some of the important features and specs. Both models' mirrors are fully loaded with heating, power folding, auto dimming, and blind spot monitoring systems. They both also have the 4 main active safety systems standard across all trims. Towing for both models comes in at 5,000 pounds. But the warranties are different. Acura, being a luxury division, warranties their products for a bit longer, at 6 years and 70,000 miles. Additionally, as of 2023, they are including 2 years of complimentary maintenance, which Mazda does not. Alright, that's it for the exteriors, but now we need to see the more important cabins before we take them out for a drive. As we approach the vehicles, if you enjoyed the comparison so far, we'd really appreciate it if you'd take a second to subscribe. As far as the crossovers, both models have smart entry as you would expect, but Acura also includes remote start on the fob, free for life. Now if you covered up the badges, I think you would have a hard time telling which of these two is from a quote mainstream brand. The colors and materials both scream luxury. So let's start with the seats. Both models are utilizing high-end leather, Milano and Nappa respectively, with ample stitching details. Both seats are also heated, ventilated, and have 3-person memory seats, but the adjustability is very different. The Mazda just has a 10-way power seat, while the MDX has 16 ways of adjustment. Now once fully inside the cabins, you can begin to take in just how luxurious they are with the overall materials. The CX-90 has a lot of leather, ample use of real open-pore wood trim, and a special Japanese artsy cloth trim for the white interior choice. The MDX also uses similar high-quality materials, except that its upper dash is finished in leatherette, and its center tunnel is not padded like the CX-90s. Because of that, we will declare this area a tie. Now after startup, you'll see two 12.3-inch full digital gauge clusters, a first for Mazda. In addition, both have large head-up displays with plenty of design options, just like the gauge clusters. Coming back to the steering wheels, both are leather-wrapped, power adjusting, and heated. Next up, we have the very important aspect of storage. Perhaps because of the rear-wheel drive packaging, the CX-90's center console is very small, as is its wireless phone charging pad, which did not fit Mason's iPhone Max very well. In comparison, the MDX has much more console space in 2 tiers, and a huge wireless phone charging slot. Moving on to the shifters, both models have electronic shifters of very different designs, and paddle shifters. Beyond that, when in reverse, they both pull up 360-degree camera systems with excellent resolution. And now that takes us to the console-mounted volume knobs. So let's go ahead and sample the audio systems. While the CX-90's audio system is certainly good, the ELS 3D system punches outside its weight class and sounds like top-tier $5,000 systems and rivals. As far as climate controls, both have physical controls for 3-zone automatic systems. And now that brings us to the infotainment systems, and there's something important to mention here. While they both have nice 12.3-inch displays, these are two of the only brands that are anti-touchscreen. That means you will have to use the touchpad in the Acura or the rotary knob in the Mazda to control the systems. For the Mazda, there is one exception to that, and that is while using Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, which can be touched. By the way, both Mazda and Acura can run those systems wirelessly. Moving above the screens, both have auto-dimming rearview mirrors with HomeLink. They also have panoramic sunroofs with power sunshades. So we have lots of luxury in the front, but do we have plenty of space and amenities in the back? Let's start with the former. Both the CX-90 and the MDX fall within 3% of each other for legroom and headroom, although it should be noted that the Mazda feels more spacious, since the Acura doesn't have enough clearance for your feet to slide under the front seat. Next, let's check the rear amenities for you or your kids to enjoy. Both have sunshades, rear climate controls, 2 charging USB ports, plus sliding and reclining seats. Now the differences. MDX's household power outlet is in the second row, while the CX-90's is in the cargo area. And MDX has heated rear seats, while CX-90 has heated and ventilated rear seats, which is very impressive. As far as the consoles, the MDX has bench seating, but the ability to flip down a console and even remove the entire thing if you want to pass through. The Mazda's console is fixed, so even though you do have some storage, it's not as versatile as the Acura's, and reduces the seating capacity. Moving on to the third row of seats, both crossovers have a very convenient one-touch folding and sliding mechanism to give you a nice pathway. And once in the third row, they are very similar in terms of the official measurements. Both have 2 seats back here, and would be plenty comfortable for kids. But the youngsters might complain about getting hot in the MDX since there are no climate vents. Now moving around to the rear, both have smart opening tailgates. And once they open up, you'll find plenty of space for your cargo needs. Despite vastly different packaging, the end result is almost identical specs, except the maximum number is 5.1% larger in the Mazda. Both third rows are manual folding. But now let's head out on the road, because this is one of the huge differentiators of the CX-90 from all the competition, both luxury and mainstream. It is using an all-new turbocharged inline 6-cylinder, available in 2 tunes. For MDX money, you'll be getting the more powerful version, making 340 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. By comparison, the MDX uses a traditional 3.5-liter V6 with 290 horsepower. Before you comment, yes, the MDX is available in a Type S version with more power, but the equally equipped version stickers for $14,000 more than this Mazda, making that moot. As you would expect with these two, the Mazda will have the acceleration advantage.
Alright, and there's past 60 miles an hour in the all-new Mazda CX-90. Now, that was in sport mode, to be completely clear. Wanted to go ahead and give you guys the best acceleration possible for the beginning. I'll go ahead and put her back in normal mode to turn down that engine noise. But you know what's under the hood of this new CX-90. It's a big deal. It's the all-new inline six-cylinder that Mazda has produced.
Now, you could probably tell from how fast that acceleration was. We've got the most powerful version of the brand new 3.3-liter turbo inline six-cylinder, 340 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque.
Nice.
Nice, exactly, nice. There's a bit of an acceleration, a little bit foiled by the red light here, but you know, you can already tell this has got plenty of power on board. So of course everything really is so much different with this new MDX. However, the powertrain situation really isn't too different. You've got the same engine on board, so it's the 3.5-liter V6 engine. It's making 290 horsepower, 267 pound-feet of torque. Again, exactly the same as the outgoing generation. Now, there are other aspects of the powertrains to consider, besides for just speed, of course. The CX-90 is using an 8-speed automatic transmission, and the MDX a 10-speed auto, both of which shift smoothly. Both also have all-wheel drive systems as well, but I do want to mention the CX-90 having a 48-volt mild hybrid system. This means the engine can turn off under light loads, and it powers a very smooth auto start-stop system, which is better than the Acura's. Part of that is probably due with the fact that this is a 48-volt mild hybrid system, so as we've observed today during our drive, as you're coming to a stop, you're able to have that advanced auto start-stop, so the engine will go ahead and turn off. Sometimes even under light loads when you're going fast on the highway,
we were going 75 miles an hour and the engine turned off when we were going down a hill.
Yeah, coasting. So you know,
it's actually off right now as we speak. As soon as I let off the accelerator, it went ahead and turned off, and then when I put my foot gently back on, it turns on, and you can't notice it, you can't feel it at all.
Now let's get into the ride qualities, which is important for this kind of family SUV. I do want to preface by saying that the CX-90 is not uncomfortable by any stretch of the imagination, but it is definitely firmer than the MDX. A combination of the stiffer suspension and larger wheels means that you will feel more of a harsh impact from the road.
But now that we're just kind of cruising along here on a beautiful Napa highway here, I want to talk about the ride quality for this new CX-90. This model is very much focused on luxury. Like we had mentioned at the beginning of the video, this particular model that we're in today actually is going against luxury competition like an Acura MDX, Volvo XC90. So it has to ride good, and so far this morning we've been nothing but impressed. The CX-90 has phenomenal ride quality. The seats are incredibly comfortable. We've hit a lot of big bumps in the road, and it just does a great job of soaking it up.
Now on the flip side of this, Mazda always cares more about driving dynamics than pretty much any brand, and you do feel that in the CX-90. While we certainly couldn't call it sporty, you can feel the benefits of the rear-wheel drive-based architecture, more limited body roll, and especially the responsive steering setup. Performance-wise, this feels closer to the MDX Type S.
Alright, and I flipped her into sport mode again, so let's go ahead and see how this CX-90 handles the sport mode. This is a big 3-row, but it is a Mazda after all. I love the powertrain. And when you put it into sport mode, it definitely gets a lot louder. You hear that full inline six in its glory, which I like a lot. And as far as driving dynamics, so we've been driving this for a little over an hour. We came from San Francisco to Napa, so we had some city driving, we've had some highway driving. And the feel I get behind the wheel with the CX-90 is really, really good.
Fundamentals of having that rear-wheel drive chassis. Like Mason was just kind of hitting the gas hard, going around that corner there. There's just certain things with physics that can't be changed. And when you have a rear-drive platform that makes the primary drive wheels in the back, that's going to be able to get you that little bit of extra cornering. The weight transfer goes to the back, helping you accelerate. It's just, you're starting out basically with a more premium experience. Nice. So with the dynamic mode or sport mode, definitely the throttle aggression is dialed up. I'm also noticing that the steering gets a lot quicker responding, as well as firmer. In the normal mode, it's incredibly light. Another aspect of comfort is sound insulation. So let's look at the decibel readings. It appears that Acura devoted more attention to this area because it scores quieter by a decent amount, although the Mazda is far from loud.
And now that we're up to speed, we'll go ahead and get that sound level reading I was talking about. Alright, wow, 53.9 decibels. Really good, guys. If you follow our reviews, you'll know that a lot of luxury cars are in the 54, 55 range. That's even lower than that. So really impressive sound level reading, and it just seems really quiet in here.
Alrighty, looks like the lowest number we achieved here is 57.6 decibels. One of the biggest surprises of this comparison is just how much better the fuel economy rating is on the CX-90, despite its big power advantage. It is one of the most efficient non-hybrid three-row SUVs on the market. And speaking of hybrid, furthermore, the CX-90 offers a plug-in hybrid version, which is something that Acura does not. Now, as promised, let's revisit the price difference of $3,833. Our scale indicates that we should award 2 points to the CX-90 to represent that. But as always, I'll remind you that if money doesn't matter as much to you, then feel free to disregard this part. So there you have it. Our objective winner is the CX-90. But which vehicle is your winner?
Well, I think the MDX would be your winner if you value the luxury nameplate prestige of having an Acura brand instead of Mazda. Also, it has a very versatile interior with its packaging. It has an amazing audio system. We said that in the video. And it does have a very smooth and quiet ride. So if you want that really premium luxury experience in terms of the ride, the MDX should be your choice.
Right, and the CX-90 should be your winner if you value saving money versus luxury competition, such as the MDX. Ventilated rear seats, you can't get that on the MDX. Fun driving dynamics, that of course is something Mazda really excels at, and their new platform is really good in that regard. And excellent fuel economy that exceeds the MDX by quite a bit, plus you have a plug-in hybrid variant you can choose.
Now, we want to know your opinion on this matter, so be sure to put in the comment section down below which one of these SUVs you're taking. Now, of course, there are a lot of different trim levels of each SUV you can pick too, so you could maybe go for a cheaper Mazda CX-90, you could maybe go for a more expensive MDX Type S and have similar power figures to that Type S Mazda CX-90. So, it's going to depend a lot on how much money you have and how much you're willing to spend on your SUV. But right. Thank you so much for joining us on this Car Confections comparison. We really appreciate you tuning in and watching this head-to-head battle between these two new SUVs. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. And if you're not, you're really missing out. So be sure to subscribe. Anyway, we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.